All right. I think it's showtime, y'all. The button says connected, and I think that's what it is. So here we are, ColumbusBlack.com's Throwback Thursday Support Black Business Series. Y'all know we took the summer off, kind of hung out a little bit, relaxed, let y'all relax. Everybody was talking about, what is that? Zoom fatigue and all this other stuff. And we pulled back a little bit so everybody could enjoy the outdoors. COVID was receding, and it was like, hey, go out and enjoy yourselves. And now here we are going into the fall already. Can y'all believe it's September? It's football season. I know y'all are ready. I know I'm ready. So listen, we're kicking things back off today, and I'm super excited. We had a couple of interviews already this week, and today is the kickoff once again for the fall season with our Support Black Business Series, part of our Throwback Thursday component. And I'm super, super, super excited today because I have a special guest with me. You all can already see her on screen. So Amber Mabry is with us today. Hello, Amber. How are you?
Hey, Kev. I'm awesome. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to have you, and I'm glad that you're excited to be here as well. This is going to be a great interview today, you all, as we really focus on supporting our Black business owners here in the Central Ohio market and making sure that they have the support that's needed to continue to grow their businesses. For those that don't know, ColumbusBlack.com has been around for 16 years now, and we've been doing this series ever since March of 2020, even though we've done other interviews prior to that. March of 2020, when COVID kicked in, we said it's time for us to make sure there's a targeted focus to support our business owners. And here we are, we're continuing into our second full season, right? So really excited about that and happy to have a wonderful guest like we have today. So with that being said, listen, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor, the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. They've been a sponsor helping us to get this information out. They provide free advisory services for business owners, y'all. FREE.
Yes.
Right? Advisory business services, right? So y'all want to, as entrepreneurs, you want to make sure you get over there. You can check it out. They're on our website. You can get the information, but you definitely want to follow up with the Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College for all the great things that they're doing there. I love that team over there. They're so supportive of us. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. I want to make sure that our audience, because we've had some time to spend together, but I need to make sure the audience knows who you are. Then we're going to get into what it is that you do and all this other great stuff, because you talk about me being busy and juggling. Listen, there's nothing, I can't even compare, right? So I'm going to humbly say it right now. I can't even compare, and they'll understand why I said that later. Now, real quick, for those that are watching this for the first time, because I'm sure that you have some viewers that follow you, that'll see this, and they'll be like, oh, I got to check her out, right? Those fans are out there. I don't want to surprise or scare y'all. So there's something called gem drops. So when Amber starts dropping gems, right? Knowledge, right? I'll call them gem drops.
Yes,
y'all gonna see me going like this. Now, hopefully she doesn't have me exercising in here. Sometimes that happens. I'm just like, okay, I can't even keep up. But when I do that, I want y'all to know what that means. If I don't say anything and I'm just doing it, it means she's dropping some serious gems that you need to pay attention to. You probably want to take some notes because she's letting this knowledge out. And this is a great opportunity for that. So Amber, I've spoken enough. I'm turning it over to you. Would you please introduce yourself to our audience so they get to know you?
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me here. Kevin does a phenomenal job with the Mal and Columbus Black and everything else, and the Venture Suites. Shameless plug, everything Kevin doing, you need to go holler at my guy, okay? But I
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. As he said, I'm Amber Mabry. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, OH.
Ayo!
Now I'm not huge in football and all that jazz, but because we're in the place, we go ahead and give a little respect.
No gems, a little respect.
That's the first gem. Oh my gosh. A little bit about me. I am a mother of two. I'm a wife. We're about to celebrate our 9th anniversary in less than a week. My two lovely kids, keep me going. I'm a mompreneur, which means I have that marketing hat, but I got the mom hat. I juggle like 50 different things, but I'm okay with it most days. Okay. I'm a community lover, leader. I have done some nonprofit work. I have actually partnered with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society years ago as a leader in their fundraising campaign called Man Woman of the Year. And in 10 weeks, me and my team were able to raise over $10,000 collectively in 10 weeks. So that's a huge, exciting piece of my story. I'm a designer, professional designer. So my business is Payne Designs.
Okay.
And what we do is we help small business owners, nonprofit organizations, and entrepreneurs compete in the marketplace, not only with the design aspect, but I'm also a visionary. And so helping people to figure out what they really might need to do before they can even start designing. And hopefully we'll get to go into some of that later. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. And again, I'm just happy to be here. So thank you, Kevin.
Outstanding. That was a great intro as well. Now y'all understand when I talked about her juggling, she's doing a bunch of stuff, right? Taking care of family, running the business, helping to support small businesses, doing community work, raising money for the community, all those great things, which is why we have you on the show. So kudos to you. Congratulations on your upcoming anniversary of 9 years and all the great things that you're doing. So with that being said, you talked about designer, right? And your business. So Payne, so walk us through your business so we know what that is. And then what I want to do is I want to go back a little bit so we understand how you even got there.
Okay, cool. So Payne Designs actually is my personal business. So the marketing, graphic design, vision mapping, all of that is kind of all in one. How I got there, or I guess what is it? Like I said, it's marketing. So, and I actually have a few of my pieces here I thought to pull out to show you all. When people think of marketing.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop. Let me change this view so they can see only you. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay. All right. So when you think of marketing, graphic design, everyone has these different thoughts of what that is. And my, I guess, viewpoint, I help with this sometimes the strategy. So that's where vision mapping comes in. You got too many ideas, don't know where to go. We need to have a vision mapping session. From there, you have kind of a game plan, right, of where you're going to go. Once you know where you're going, and this vision mapping is not like a business plan, I'll just say that it's more of mapping your thoughts out so you can clearly articulate for yourself and also involve other partners like a photographer, a designer, and all these other pieces into your vision. But when it comes to what Payne Designs mainly focuses on, is the marketing and the graphic design aspect of helping people bring their visions to life. So I've done a little bit of everything. I have a collection here in my office of a lot of work, but I just picked up a few things that I've done over the last few years. This is my mom in love. She is the baddest bass player in Columbus, Ohio. Shameless plug to Rika Fanning. And I was able to design her cover, interior. I do all kind of things from flyers, that I do those, but I'm doing a whole lot now. I work with various nonprofits. One of my current clients is CDC, the Child Development Council of Franklin County. I'm contracted to do things like their annual review, personal guides, all that kind of stuff. I also am working on right now several books. So if someone needs the interior of their book laid out, a lot of times people may not want just the Microsoft version of it. So helping to lay it out so that it is, professionally done. I do that kind of thing. Shameless plug to my girl, Shelby Frederick. I do journal books. And so here we laid out the cover, the back, all the interior work, things of that nature. So really any type of books. Shameless plug to Gail Dudley. Everybody in Columbus probably knows her. I was her main designer for over a year or so with Ready Publications. So really any, again, layouts, shameless plug, there I am. So in short, I do a lot of different work in regards to helping people, again, bring their vision to life. It doesn't have to be print-based. Of course, now in the pandemic, we do things like virtual business cards, helping people with their branding and identity. And then one of the main things I'll stop on is that I really get excited to talk about these days is helping people recognize that you are your brand first. You are your brand first, not all these other things, because this comes after. So branding, marketing is all about putting yourself, yes, in the view of other people. But every day we're doing that, guys. Every single day. So I talk and actually have had several speaking engagements in regards to building a brand to last. And so I'm passionate about helping people directly, corporately, and individually.
Wow. Nice. You saw me doing this because she was dropping those gems. I love the fact that you brought a sampling of your portfolio. Listen, y'all, you got to be ready, right? When you do the work, you're ready. Look at that's what
this is Franklin University are also one of my clients too. So
nice. Okay, y'all. So check this out. I love it. Why? Because she's a mompreneur, right? And she is showing you, like, you got to be ready. She brought her credentials to show you the work that she does. Now we really understand. Sometimes people come and they just talk about it, and she's showing you the work. And I appreciate you doing that so we can understand your credentials. And obviously listening, I'm like, ooh, I need to reach out to you for this, right? So that's really cool too. So listen, so obviously, doing what you're doing at this point, what led you to this, right? I love to learn the backdrop, because there's some young man or some young lady that's going to hear this at some point, and it may be somebody older that hears your story that's impacted and says, that's me, that's what I want to do. So how did you even get started and become an entrepreneur?
So the entrepreneur piece is, I would say, from birth, and I'll say hi to my family because I know my mom and them somewhere watching. My family is the best support you could ever find in the world. So shameless plug. But even as a child, I've always been creative, outgoing, versatile. Some of the things that I used to do, and if your kids are doing these, they are creative, rearranging my room all the time. Even now, I have a house now. I rearrange it all the time. I just painted this weekend my kids' room. Wanting to change with textures and different things and trying new things, discovering new things. I've always been that way. And I grew up in a home where it was my mom and dad, and then me and my 3 siblings. They always encouraged my creativity. Now, I know not everyone gets that same, deal of cards, so to speak. Right. But because they were able to allow me to just be who I was, I just continued to grow in entrepreneurship, from braiding hair. I think about the age of 11 or 12, I started braiding hair. That was my side hustle. On the weekends, I would be braiding hair, learning different things. And even now I can still braid, but I don't do it that much because I'm a mompreneur. But, using my hands has always been something. Using my mind has always been something I've just been doing. And so leading up into even growing a little bit older, my parents actually put me in Columbus College of Art and Design Saturday morning art class. So again, they encouraged it. And now as a mom, it's something I definitely think is very important that parents pay attention to what your kids are already doing. We're trying to grow them up and make them something that far-fetched from what they were intended to be. And so going to CCAD as a kid and exploring other things, I continued on the path. I graduated from Walnut Ridge, real tight.
She referenced.
In 2004, prom queen, I will say.
Okay.
Hey.
Check you out.
And then after that, I ended up going to CCAD on a scholarship. I can't remember the amount, but I want to say it was like $24,000 or something.
Nice.
And when I completed that, I graduated in 2009 with my bachelor's of arts with advertising and graphic design. So leading all the way to that, I then went into the corporate space. I worked several jobs. I have worked with Bath and Body Works as in their marketing department. I more recently worked with Apple for about 6 years. And I recently quit that role. But in short, I have had the corporate role, but I've always been an individual. I've always been someone who can work with team, but really still loves to do her own thing in her own lane. And so that's really when I graduated. I started Payne Designs in 2011. Very sideline, very part-time, but fast forward, I'm doing it full-time now, and I love it.
Outstanding.
Yep.
And congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations. So listen, y'all, I got to go back for a second. Y'all saw me dropping those gems and y'all saw that look on my face. She was talking to those parents, right? And she was dropping some gems because sometimes parents could be a little overbearing as to what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Remember, we all have a gift. Help guide your child to the gift and let them grow, right? So yeah, some gems being dropped there. So obviously, you know, we sit here, Amber, you know, I'm on Columbus Black and people see it and they're like, oh, he's doing this, he's great, he's in all this good stuff, right? They see you like, oh my gosh, she's doing this, she's doing this. Now we know as entrepreneurs is it don't come that easy, right?
Well, take some work.
Yeah, it's some work. So talk to me about some of the challenges you had, but also some of the successes. Like what would have been some of your toughest moments, but then some of your most exciting, exhilarating moments?
Well, I will just keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
Toughest, I'll start with the bad, we'll end with the good.
Okay.
Toughest moments, I would say, is knowing your worth and knowing how to price yourself. I think everybody who starts as an entrepreneur probably shouldn't start up here with your pay raise or pay rate, but sometimes it's figuring it out. And then for a lot of us who are in the African-American community, because we don't have enough people willing to share their nuggets, their gems, right? We are bumping our heads through this thing called entrepreneurship. Now, don't get me wrong, not everyone has taken that path, but those of us who have, we kind of have an obligation, a duty to some degree to help somebody else, which is why I'm always looking for resources like this and becoming that resource because, you know, collaborations and community is where it's at. That crab in a barrel mentality that many of us have either adopted or just live under is not necessary. It's just not necessary. So in regards to like how I got started with it and moving forward, it's just the mindset to keep going. So your first question was how my challenge. So the challenge is figuring out the best times to market yourself, to monetize yourself, to set those rates, as well as the right people to connect to. One thing I have learned in my journey is not all connections and associations are good. I have also learned the importance of having a contract, entrepreneurs. I don't care what you're doing. You need to have something in writing. There are templates online. We are in a place full of resource. So there's just no excuse, but having that, one of my challenges was learning. I got burned out of $500 and it really boiled my biscuits or burned my biscuits. Shameless plug to Tia Ramey, my homies, right there. But it burned my biscuits, but it taught me the importance of having things in writing. And I was younger then. Didn't know you take somebody's word. So that was definitely a challenge. Some of the successes I can say I have had is just being comfortable in my own skin. I don't feel like I have competition because I just compete with myself. I believe what I package and what Amber provides, it's an Amber experience. There is no other Amber experience like mine. So I don't have to compete. I don't have to compare. Yes, I'm always gleaning. I'm always learning. I'm the leader's leader that can definitely learn from other leaders, but I'm not handicapped. So that's to me, one of my biggest successes is getting to that point that I don't have to feel like I need something else. Another success for me is knowing that everything I have and everything that I do is because of God. Amen. You know, and that He is the source for my creativity, for my thoughts, for the connections, for the resources, for the opportunities. Like He is the source. And the more I tap into the source, there's always overflow. You know what I mean? And that is a big deal. And I've gotten to that here in the last several years. Like He is the source. And one last success I can say I have recognized is that there's no limit. And there's more than enough, which is why I love collaborations. I love meeting people. I think the most successful people in the world are the people that can see outside of themselves, that can serve from an authentic place and not a greed place, and those who have a vision for community And I can say, little by little, I've been getting there, and I'm successful for those things, for those reasons.
Wow. Y'all, so she actually had me working out for a little bit in there, didn't she, right? Well, I'll tell you, those gem drops are just nonstop, right? So, wow. Can somebody say wow backwards for me? It's still wow, right? So listen, you just dropped some serious gems, and it's powerful. And thank you so much for sharing your story, though, right? Like, this is you. And there are a couple of takeaways that I have from that, y'all, and to help recap. And what I always say is, if you didn't get inspired by what she just said in the last few minutes, I need you to hit the rewind button and try again. Because there's no way you get through that, especially with all those gem drops, and not take anything away from it, right? So with that being said, one thing that that really resonated with me is create your own lane, right? She was like, I'm not competition. I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing my thing. This Amber experience, right? And sometimes I think people get caught up in what everybody else is doing. It's not that you don't see what other people are doing, but focus on creating your lane, exactly. Your differentiator, right? She talked about God, that foundation, that source. Look, can nothing get in your way or stop? Well, it could try to get in your way, but it can't really stop you. When he's a part of the plan, it's just going to happen, right? Now, you just got to do your part and be ready for the blessings to come. So thank you for sharing that. You're talking about collaborations, y'all. I'm always talking about relationships. And you talked about that collaboration and working together and helping each other and getting rid of that old mindset, the crabs in the barrel piece. And when you come to Venture Suite, as you plugged earlier, everybody eats is on the wall. Why? Because that's our number one value. Everybody eats. Is enough here at the table. Girl, you was over there dropping those gems. I had to work out. Goodness gracious. All right. So listen, that was really, really good stuff. So talk to us about this, right? We talked about the mompreneur piece earlier. You got the kids, you're balancing really well. What would you say to those moms that are trying to figure that part out, right? The job, the kids, family, and trying to balance it all. And then like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I just don't know. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I will say I am learning. There's no such thing as balance.
Ooh. Oh, hold up. Gem drops. Go ahead.
I don't know if there's any such thing as balance. I think we've been lied to. I think for me, I'm learning. It's just a juggle. Okay. If you watching somebody at the circus juggling, right? He ain't really balancing, he's juggling. So whether you got one ball in the air or two, you just still moving. So for me, I think I'm learning with my life that it's not really a balance. It's just recalibrating, it's just restructuring. So for that lady out there who's like me, because it's not easy, don't buy the lie of social media that everybody's just all good. Everybody you see, including me and Kevin, okay?
Wait a minute. What are you doing over there? That's too much.
Between me and Kevin, we both can attest behind the scenes is real, okay? So don't allow social media to kill your dream. Don't buy the lie that everybody that you see doing good is really doing good. We just persevering through the real, okay? Speaking of which, I have a group called Marriage of Real Talk, which I'm also the visionary over, and we focus on helping people with relationship stuff. Singles, married, divorced, widow, doesn't matter. And what I love is that in the same way, we're always dropping nuggets. It's important to drop nuggets. But back to the question, for that mother, for that woman that wants to start a business or is just trying to figure it out, I'm just going to say, sis, pray. And if you don't believe in God, just start. In the world we're in, you're going to need to start finding the Lord, okay? Jesus Christ. Shameless plug on that also. But pray, get quiet, strategize. Because a lot of people live in a lie. The dream that you really want, you've never really stepped into it. And I'll be daggone if I'm going to live my whole life not fulfilled. So what I'm going to say to you, sis, is pray, get quiet, journal, strategize, and walk it out. because we waiting for a day to come that's just everything's going to be peachy and the kid's not going to be crying and your husband and you going to be on one accord about everything. It ain't happening, sis. Go ahead, write your vision, back a tutu, write that vision and start walking in it. And don't wait for perfection. I'm giving you the gems for
check that out. Check that out. Don't wait. Listen, that perfection thing will mess you up.
Don't wait for it. You'll be waiting your whole life. Your whole life. One last thing I'll say on that is the late Miles Monroe, one of the people I love. I can't wait to meet him in heaven one day. He said the richest place is the grave, because many people go to the grave with unfulfilled dreams, goals, songs, poems. What's in you? Get it out. Get it out. So sis, if you watching, go ahead and write the vision. Believe in yourself. Stop waiting for somebody else to believe in you, your spouse, your pastor, your colleague, your boss, your children. Get quiet. Find confidence within yourself and walk it out. And as you go, just like all of us entrepreneurs have learned, it's a learn as you go process. Know that that's what it is. And as you go, you will learn and it'll get better. Period. Okay, listen,
I might as well just check on you or watch this every morning now and get my workouts. That's what it sounds like I need to do. I'm over here dropping all these gems and my arms get tight. Goodness gracious. Listen,
I'm just sharing what I know, Kev. That's all I'm doing.
You designer. You over here preaching, you educating and philosophizing, all that stuff. You're a philosopher today.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
Now, seriously, y'all, she just, listen, and I'm not even going to try to regurgitate what she just said, because listen, that was it right there. Like, that's it. You summed it all up, right? And it's real. It's so real. Like, just hit the rewind button if you didn't get it.
Just do it, sis. In short, just do it.
Do it. And don't wait on other people. It's about, you got to go do it. Right.
I want to throw one other thing out there.
Go ahead.
For the perfectionist people. Yeah. This is my mindset, and this is probably why I do so many things. My thinking in life is, if I try it once and it doesn't work out, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to learn something. And this is for anybody who's trying a new job, starting a new business, having a kid, whatever we're doing. Just try it. So many people don't live their life because they're living in fear. And I can say for me, that's one thing that it's not that I'm not ever fearful, but I don't stay there. Fear is a place. It's a place. I'll just say that. You could stay in it. Think of your house. If it's a fearful place, you can stay in it or you can get out. So if you're in a place of fear, decide to come out. Just open the door, walk out, and say, I'm going to just do it anyway. And the worst thing that's going to happen from me trying, and you fill in the blank, is that you're going to learn something. And it's going to help you take that next step forward to what you do want to do. Wow. So, I'm going to throw that out there.
Heavy, dropping all kind of gems on us, y'all. Double jams. She went from regular jams to double jams.
Oh
right?
My gosh.
So that's what's up. All right, so listen, let's go back to your expertise though, right? So for those that are entrepreneurs and, they're trying to figure out this branding, this marketing thing. You talked about your brand earlier. Obviously, you had a lot of experience. What tidbits do you have for those that are trying to figure that part out? Because as an entrepreneur, you can't be great at everything, right? You can't be great at operations. And we know we wear all the hats initially, but at some point, you got to figure this part out. What are your tips for those trying to get synced up on the marketing and branding piece?
Yeah. So if you are fresh out the box, a couple of things I will say is, you already said the SBA, sorry. And the Small Business Development Center specifically is great, but SBA is also very good. I personally utilize those resources even now. Several of the workshops are all online. Many of them are free or have a small fee. Go get educated. And sometimes join stuff that has nothing to do with your industry. Just be that open mind, because you never know what you're going to need and you never know who you're going to meet. So just have that open viewpoint. You'll be amazed at what can happen. So tip one will be plug in. YouTube is also your friend, but don't live there. Some people want to figure out their whole life on YouTube. Like, it has a space, but it's not the only place. I'll just say that. Right. The main thing I would also say is be resourceful. Connect with people, even if that's virtual coffees or whatever you got to do. In this pandemic season, one of the things I was very intentional about, at least at some parts of the pandemic, was reaching out to people just to say, hey, let's have a virtual, I call it show and tell. I'm working on X, Y, and Z, and I'm looking for partners, and I'm sure you are too. If you're open-minded and like collaborating, let's have a virtual Zoom. You get 30 minutes, I get 30 minutes. Let's share. And you know what? If at the end of this, we're not a good sync, because again, not every relationship and connection is the best one. If we're not, so what? Again, we learn something from each other. And if there's somebody or something that crosses my desk that can connect with you, I'm going to do that. You're going to do the same? Cool, deuces. So just being open-minded, finding those right-minded people that's going to help you. And then as your business grows, which I'm kind of in that place, get your team together. Like you said, I think one of the mishaps of being an entrepreneur is you're trying to do everything. You're trying to do social media, accounting, you're over here trying to learn QuickBooks, you don't know nothing about it. You're over on Canva, you're just everywhere doing nothing, frustrated and making no money. So what I would say is back to your strategy, know what you're doing. Second, be resourceful. In regards to the marketing aspect, know who you're talking to. A lot of times I'm talking to my clients and I always try to remind them of their audience. Your audience is not everyone. This is not Walmart, okay? So if you selling t-shirts, it's not that that t-shirt can't go on every person of every demographic all around the world, but there's a niche. Does your market and your story line up? And if they don't, let's go back to vision planning. Let's go back to strategizing so that whatever we produce is connected to the end goal, which is why I always tell my clients in our first consultation, I am visionary. I'm not just a designer. I'm going to throw out things and I might challenge you in some areas because my end goal is not to just slap something together. We got Fiverr and Vistaprint and all these other places for that. But my goal is to help align with your vision so that when you look back on this a year from now, 2 years from now, maybe 5, it's like Amber was in alignment with my vision, not just, oh, here you go. So even to the marketing piece, when you are figuring out your demographic, who you're talking to, be authentic, be real so that what you're creating is on a foundation that will last. Of course, your marketing plans will change over time, but when you're starting out, your marketing, your branding is so important because you are putting out in the world what you want us to see. So if you don't know what it is, and this is the last thing I'll say, I always give my clients an analogy. And having 2 kids, I can use this analogy. When I had a child, I had a doula at one point, and I had a midwife. My job as a designer and visionary is to help you birth your vision. But if you don't know your vision, I mean, I'm gonna help you with a strategy session or a vision mapping session, but it's important again for us to sit down, know what you really want, who are you talking to so that the partners, whether it be a designer, a photographer, whoever is coming into something that's solid and not wishy-washy, because I can't really emulate or I can't help to produce the vision if you haven't thrown the baton over to me. So in short, if you are just getting started, know who you're talking to, know what you want, be resourceful, get connected, and don't use the excuse of it's a pandemic, I can't see nobody. Hey, I got 2 kids and I don't see people too much either, but we got Zoom. Use your technology to the advantage. Not just to post on social media randomly, but be intentional when you're online because people are always watching.
Yes, they are. They may not comment. They may not like. They may not share.
Right.
But they are definitely watching. Guaranteed. Right? So listen, I'll tell you, I'll give a small sample of that, right? Actually, I got a couple of things tied to what you just said, and you just dropped a bunch more gems, y'all. So once again, power pack. Y'all can write a book off of what she just shared in this time together, right? So got off the road. Payne was in New York. This was years ago, right? In New York. Got off the highway, walked into a store, and while in the store, ran into somebody here in Columbus, and they was like, yeah, so how was the trip to New York? Right? And it's like, they didn't say anything. They knew exactly what I have been doing. I'm back in Columbus, but that's the first person I run into off the highway, and they already know what you got. Right?
Yeah.
So people are watching. Just
always
beware, right?
So show up. That's the other part of that. They watching, so show up.
Yeah, definitely. And do what you say you're gonna do, right? And once you put it out there, it's out there. Go ahead and do it now. And at this point, you put it in the universe. People are expecting you to do it, and they actually will support that effort if you do what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah,
so
true.
With that being said, you got all kind of cool comments going through the chat too, right? One of the best. Great to see you.
Hey.
So hey, right? How about that? So listen, you talked earlier about the marketing and the branding piece and all that good. So how do people get in contact with you if they need your services?
Sure. So I have started to blend because I am a resource. So I no longer want to be known as just a designer. I just want to be known as a resource. So you can just go to Amber Mabry Thrives. THRIVES Thrives. Because over the course of my life, I wanted to just be the one-stop shop that no matter what Amber is doing, no matter what God has given me in that season, you can find me. So there you will see information on Marriage to Real Talk. You will see information on my book. I'm a co-author of a book called Wife Life 101. You will find Payne Designs where you can connect with me and consult. All kind of things. My blog is on there, YouTube is on there, social media outlets. So it's Amber Mabry Thrives is where you can find me.
All right. And what I just did, I just dropped that in the chat. So anybody who needs that is right there. You have no excuses. So as you're watching this video, right, and you're learning all these life lessons and all these gems that have been dropped on your head, right, to help you be successful. Now you also know how to go and find Amber Mabry, who's thriving, right?
Always.
In all aspects of what she's doing, y'all. That is outstanding. So give us, as we get ready to wrap up soon, give us a trajectory, right? So you kind of gave us a little bit of a segue. And one of the things I always ask about is, so what's next for you, right? So in this case, you started taking us there. What's next for Amber? And then I want to get into how we support you. So go ahead.
Awesome. Well, what's next for me is Vision Defined Women. It's going to be a community where I am the resource, very similar to Marriage to Real Talk, where I've created this community where we come and talk about the real relationships. But this community, Vision Defined Women, is going to allow women, and even some of those mothers or people who are just on the sidelines of their life, but really need some hands-on support, that community piece. Women thrive in community. We just naturally do. And so with this community, we'll have health insight, including like workouts. You'll have me as kind of your consulting for these business things. So one thing I have been learning as a mompreneur is you don't have as much time as you used to, because your life is divided, right? But I still want to give value. I still want to give direct connection and support, and I love people. And so in this community, I will have how to. Maybe you need to learn how to properly use Zoom and stream. I get that question all the time. How do you do this? How do you, well, I may not be able to do a 30-minute one-on-one with you, sis, but in this community, which is membership-based, you will be able to come in and have access to me for business, for health. I'm also a health and wellness educator, and I help people with various things with that degree. So I'll have that in there. I'm also going to be shamelessly plugging in people that are in my sphere of influence, similar to this, that we can just continue to build together, build collaborations. We will have some organization times. One of the issues that women have is that we're just not organized. But when you get a woman organized, honey, watch out. We take it over, okay? So organization times, dream work, strategy sessions, all these different things that people need to get from step 1 to step 2. We want to help women to define their vision so they can thrive. So that is what is coming up. And then hopefully a family business down the line with my hubby. We're working on a few things, if not for later this year, for next year, but just building resources so that I can give back. And one of my big picture visions is to create two things. One is a shelter for homeless.
Okay.
God's been putting that on my heart. And another one is a house of vision, where everything you need is in the house, from a photography studio to marketing, to classes, to workshops, to office spaces, like a more than an incubator, but just everything you need is in the house. So yeah, okay. Onward and upward is what we're doing.
Amber's house, the house of Payne. Something's gonna be doing something over there. All right. Good stuff.
You're crazy.
So you have quite a bit ahead of you, in looking to do not just some amazing things, but really have a powerful impact on others' lives. So I just want to say kudos to you. I want to say keep up the great work. I look forward to you achieving all of those things. And I know that there's some people watching now or that will watch this later or next week or next month that will also be very supportive of what you have going on. So what I want to do is I'm going to put it back on you real fast. Okay. If there was one thing that we as a community could do, right? Because I always say, when you step out and you start doing what you're doing, that 60%, we owe the other 40% to begin to make sure we're helping you, okay? So if there was one thing that a listener could do when they watch this to help support you to achieve those milestones that you mentioned, what would you like us to do to help support you?
Awesome. Well, step one is go like my pages. I think sometimes as small business owners, people thinking people need money and all this stuff. With the way everything's changing online, with how people actually see posts and all the rest, just go like our pages. Go support what we're doing. If you see something that was an aha to you, click share sometimes, because I'm guilty. I don't do it all the time either. But sometimes if you like a person, share. Why not? It might help somebody else. So I would say, please share my website, share a post that you see that I'm doing. Give me feedback. I'm the type of person, I love feedback. So if you see something or you know somebody that aligns with something that I'm doing or what's on my heart, connect me. I'm generally doing the same for everybody else. Outside of that, I would say collaborate. I love collaboration. So if there's something that you have going on, and again, I'm a good fit, please think of it. And outside of that, come use my services. So design, marketing, wellness support, all the rest, I appreciate it. And outside of that, let's just keep building a community that can serve one another. Let's get rid of the greed, the mindsets. And I know that's not everybody, but some people are stuck, and we don't have to. There's more than enough for everyone. And I'm not just talking about financial, but wealth is also knowledge. There's some knowledge Kevin has that I don't have, but we've been connected, man, you know what I mean? And even some of our other people that we're all connected to, we've been in meetings together already. There's so much power and synergy with the right people, with the right mindset. So if you have the right mindset, keep that in mind. And outside of that, if I come across your thoughts, pray for me. Say a little prayer for me, because I'm learning prayer goes a lot further than sometimes people's words or opinions. So just, Lord bless Amber today. Keep her, strengthen her, keep her creative, help her, send the resources, whatever it is. I'm not too proud to say I need prayer sometime. So that is another way you can support this girl. All
right, listen, prayer works.
It does.
You better believe it. So listen, she's actually, I'm gonna say this, right? I think you're the first person to ask for prayer on the line during one of these Throwback Thursdays. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna use it. Y'all pray for me too. For sure. Every day, all day.
Every entrepreneur know they need prayer. It's that pride, okay? Yeah, we're not gonna go there. I ain't too proud to say.
Ain't no ego here, ain't no pride here. Y'all think about Columbus Black, pray. Thank you. We need help all day long. I'll take it. All right, so now seriously though, listen, what an awesome time having you on the show today. I really, really appreciate it. As we do get ready to wrap up, we always wrap up with final remarks, right? So I know you've already dropped many, many gems. My arm got so tired one time I just went like this because the right arm just wouldn't work no more, right? Because I had to rest up a little bit, but then it came back. So even though you dropped all those, are there any final remarks that you want to leave for our audience before you leave? Because sometimes people say, I said all that and I still miss saying this. I can't believe it, right? We don't want you to be that one. So did you miss anything that you want to drop before we go?
I want to leave you with my personal motto.
Okay.
Live out loud. Live out loud. And I'm sure I have a t-shirt in the near future just
Absolutely.
because it's so important to live out loud. I don't know how many people I have seen on my feed that have perished, who have left this earth this week. Okay? This week. Jesus. Tomorrow's not promised. Get your affairs in order and live out loud, unapologetically. I tell myself, Amber, you're going to stand up on the stage of your life and live out loud. Sometimes it's easy, most times it's not, but live out loud. So I want to just encourage whoever is watching, who's been stagnant, who's been going through because of the pandemic, who have maybe lost someone in this week, because it's happening so quickly, young and old. And so I just want to encourage you to live out loud, find your purpose, find the Lord, do what you got to do and live out loud, because one of my goals is to leave this earth empty.
That's right.
I don't need a job. I flow. So if it's this, it's this. And, you know, some people might look at somebody like me, like, she all over the place. I'm purposely all over the place because I'm a creative. I'm just like the Lord. I'm just like God. You wake up every morning, you don't know what the sun might look like. You don't know what the sky might look like. I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable in my skin. So for whoever's watching, and that will look different for everyone, live out loud. Don't live in a box. Don't wait for your promotion. Go get it. It's a mindset. It's an intention that we must follow so we can live out loud. And the only time I plan to be in a box is when it's time for me to go see the Lord. Outside of that, this girl ain't in no box, and I'm comfortable outside of it. Okay, I'm done. Thank you again for letting me be here, Kevin. You're gonna get me preaching in a minute.
You was preaching. You just got the official. You know, I was on the line. I had Perry Jeffries on.
Pass the bucket.
And right, exactly. and we were talking about what happens when you get beyond the mic drop. And I was trying to figure out something for when you put it on, when you get it on lock, and it wasn't working. He told me, he says the chokehold. So when you do that, that's that you got it on lock. So you chokehold, and because you got it on lock.
Okay.
That's the new one. That's the can't take no more. All right. So listen,
crazy.
With that being said, y'all, we are going to wrap up. It has been such a pleasure to have Amber on the show. We wish you nothing but success, and thank you for dropping all those gems. People, once again, if you missed any part of the show, just listen to the last few minutes, and that'll make you want to watch the rest of the show. I promise you. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to wrap up as we always do, right? So listen, I need y'all to go and do exactly what she said earlier. You need to go and follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You want to hit the subscribe button. You everywhere, every channel, we're there. We want you there too. All right. So you need to make sure you're supporting us, following us. Don't forget to go to the website. That's where you can go and you can be a part of our mailing list, and you get our emails, which allow you to never miss out on something like this again, because we share it on email and on social. So if you follow us, you never miss this stuff. Go to ColumbusBlack.com. Is that simple, right? Now, with that being said, I want to thank our sponsor, the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. Don't forget, free advisory services for business owners, okay? They can help you. So you want to make sure you check them out. Go to our website, ColumbusBlack.com. You'll see their information on there. Take you right to them as well. And don't forget our other two sponsors. So Venture Suite, which was mentioned earlier, Black-owned co-working space at 780 Vernon Avenue, across the street from the Columbus Urban League, right in the Bronzeville community, where you can go and you can now work, get some quiet time, some private time. You can have meetings. You can even rent the space for receptions and meetings and all those good things. Check it out at venturesuite.co. That's VentureSuite.co, right here in Columbus. That's right. Now, with that being said, don't forget about Mile. Download the Mile app. It stands for Make Your Life Entertaining. Go to mile.com, learn more about Mile and the Extra Mile, which is how we impact our community. So I want y'all to check that out at mile.com. And last but not least, as we always do, remember, in order to be more successful in your future, you need to understand a little bit more about your past. That's the reason why we just had Amber Mabry on our show today, and we just had a blast. Now, with that being said, I'm going to do it in my normal fashion, y'all, with the deuces, because I'm out. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Throwback Thursday. Support Black Business Series right here on ColumbusBlack.com. Take care, everybody. Be safe and mask up. All right, it's serious.